Good months and bad months. If you've been running a garage door company for a while now and you're doing solid numbers, for the most part, you probably already know the feeling. One month, the phone won't stop ringing, your texts are slammed, and you're turning work away. The next month, it goes quiet and you can't put your finger on as to why. And I get it, because nothing changed on your end, but the revenue still swung anyway. Here's the thing most owners never get told. The lead sources that got you here can also kind of be the thing that's capping you. In this video, I'm going to break down why your best sources are often your biggest ceiling and what to do about it. That way your month stops swinging and you can scale with some confidence. If we haven't met yet, I'm Bruce Hillier. I'm the host and I'm the operations manager at E&B Contracting Media. We help garage door companies generate booked appointments through meta ads, qualified and preset right onto your calendar. And we handle all the lead management so that your team just shows up, runs the work, and hopefully without having to chase anybody down. So far, we've done it for 15 garage door companies at the time of recording this video. So if we're looking at where garage door companies are getting their work from right now, it's a pretty short list. I mean, got things like referrals, door knocking, word of mouth, next door, maybe you go niche and do some mailing. You've got maybe Facebook ads, Google ads with like LSA and PPC, and maybe you tap into van wraps and yard signs. And any one of these can carry a shop to six figures, and a couple few of them can take you well past seven. But if we look at what most garage door owners lean on, it's referrals and repeat customers with maybe one aggregator filling the gaps for the most part. And that's good. It's better than good, don't get me wrong, because those are your highest quality leads, because a referral already trusts you and closes fast and costs you absolutely nothing besides the time at the referee. The problem is they're also the hardest thing in your business to scale, because you can't just call your past customer and tell them to, break their spring again this month. I mean, you could, but I doubt they'll listen to you. You can't just tell your referrals to double either. A garage door lasts years, so your repeat customers come back on their own clock, not yours. And aggregators decide how many leads you get. They set the price, and they sell that same lead to maybe 3 or 4 of your competitors at the same time. So with every one of these, you can't exactly forecast it, and you can't turn it up on demand, which is what your ceiling is. Now, let's look at how the bigger operators think. You know, the ones rolling up shops, building regional brands. And there's been a wave of private equity buying into home services, garage doors included. And it's worth understanding why, because they're not going to buy into a business that won't generate them more revenue. And so they're not chasing the best leads because, the best leads are referrals and you can't really manufacture those out of thin air. What they're doing is that they're chasing leads that they can schedule and leads that a team can predictably close. So they're taking what's already working in a business, keep it, and then pretty much bolt on a system that they can control like a dial. They want more and they want it on demand. That's the whole game at their level. So here's the simplest way to look at it from your business. Your revenue is going to be equal to your appointments multiplied by your close rate multiplied by your average ticket. And that's really it. Those are your 3 levers, and everything we're talking about lives inside this equation right here. So let's put some real numbers on it. Say you're doing 750 grand a year and you blend your repairs and your installs together so that your average ticket is about, let's say 650. That puts you in at a little over 1,150 jobs a year. So let's call it 95 to 100 per month. And garage door is high intent, right? I mean, people call you when something's already broken. So let's say you close maybe around 60%. That puts you at roughly 160 appointments per month. Now let's ask ourselves the real question. Where are these 160 jobs coming from? For most shops at your level, and I mean most, maybe 60 to 70% of it is actually coming from referrals, repeat customers, and word of mouth alike. So call it 100 out of those 160 appointments is coming from sources that you can't control and can't forecast. And if your referrals soften for a quarter, or one of the aggregators raises its prices, or you just hit a slow stretch in the season, this whole equation up here, it wobbles around, and your payroll and your overhead don't wobble with it, and they stay exactly where they are. This is also where I watch most owners get themselves into trouble. I mean, they set a number for next year with no real system behind it. You did 750 and you decide like next year is 2 million. And don't get me wrong, I love the ambition, but how are you actually gonna bridge and cross that gap? If the plan is just more referrals and a busier season, that's not exactly a plan, that's hope. And if you ever wanna bring in real salespeople, commission techs to push installs, they want to see that you have lead sources to feed them, because nobody good really wants to show up to a business that's just banking on the phone ringing. And the fix isn't complicated at all. You just need to add a system that you can control. One channel where you know that for a set amount of spend, gets you a set amount of appointments. And that's exactly what meta ads do when they're built right, with a funnel that qualifies the lead before it ever reaches you and an appointment that books straight into your schedule, hopefully without you having to touch it. And they're not replacing your referrals. Those stay your best, cheapest, highest closing leads. You just add a second leg to the stool, that way the whole thing stops wobbling. And I'll be straight with you about the trade-off, because there always is a trade-off, right? A booked appointment from a cold channel costs more than a free referral, and it closes at a lower rate. So it has a higher cost and a lower close rate. And this is all because the person doesn't know you yet. A garage door appointment off Meta usually runs somewhere in the tens to low hundreds of dollars depending on your market. But it runs through the same formula that we just showed earlier, right? With your average ticket and your margin, even at a lower close rate, the math still works for the most part. And if it's tight, you've got two levers now. Raise your price a little bit or tighten your close process. Either you cover the acquisition costs or the customer does, and that's really the only choice. And most owners I talk to find that nudging the ticket up more than pays for it. And this is the exact thing we do for our clients. We turn on Meta, qualify the leads through a funnel, and book 35 to 40 appointments straight onto their calendar, and then we manage all of it pretty much from start to finish. And if we don't hit the number, you don't pay, because we're confident in our system. And let me show you what that looks like in the real world. Justin Foro, who runs Jacksonville Garage Doors, before we started, his leads were pretty slow and he tried marketing before and it just went nowhere. And 2 months with us, he had 85 leads and 45 booked appointments, which was just about $200,000 in quoted work sitting in front of his crew. And by now we've worked for him for just a bit over 6 months and we're closing in at almost 200 booked appointments directly onto his calendar for him. And that's the difference between hoping the phone rings and actually knowing it will. And you can also take Wes Perry from No BS Home Services. When we started, he was a solo operator and work was pretty thin. But once the channel was actually turned on, he had so much coming in that he had to literally start hiring techs just to keep up with what we were sending him. That's what a predictable channel does. You stop chasing work and start staffing for it. And here's the main takeaway and the whole point of the video. Revenue, it's not hope. It's math first, then systems, then education. Your referrals and repeat customers, they might have gotten you here and they're great, so keep them. But ask yourself one honest question. Could you add 30, 40, maybe 50 appointments next month just by deciding to? If the answer is no, then you found your ceiling. Adding one channel you can control doesn't just smooth out your months, it makes the whole business less risky and honestly worth more, whether you ever plan to sell it. The next step is just to implement this channel. And if you want us to build a channel for you, the link is in the description. That's all I've got, and I'll see you guys in the next one.